What is going on, everybody? It is me again. It's HorrorFan34, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to Day 6 of the 31 Days of Horror Challenge in October. Now that we are on Day 6, I figured lately I was talking about a lot of, underrated stuff. You know, like Cue the Winged Serpent I think is underrated, and Hangman, and Of Unknown Origin, things like that. Now I figured I'd get onto a film that pretty much that a big horror fan that everybody knows about. It's my personal favorite film of this director. It's a director I greatly miss, and as you can tell by the title of the video, for Day 6 of the challenge, it's going to be a review on The Serpent and the Rainbow. Don't bury me. I'm not dead. Yeah, but The Serpent and the Rainbow came out in 1988. Well, it says on the back here it says 87, so sorry, I disregard that. 1987. Directed by the late great Wes Craven. I greatly miss Wes Craven. This is my personal favorite film of his. This is my favorite Wes Craven film. I love this film very much. I love The Serpent and the Rainbow. I mean, this was around the time where you had a lot of films dealing with voodoo. You had films like Angel Heart with Mickey Rourke and Robert De Niro, which is a good one, and The Believers, which is another really good one with Martin Sheen. But this is without a doubt my favorite film dealing with voodoo. I mean, Wes Craven did a capable job directing this, and before I get onto that too, I mean, this film is just so well done. I mean, the basic idea with the film is that you have Bill Pullman, one of his early movies. I think this is around the time when he was doing Spaceballs. This is my second favorite Bill Pullman film, and Spaceballs is number one. I mean, the first two big films he really did in his career are my top two favorites. I love Bill Pullman as an actor. One of the more underrated actors, Independence Day and things like that. Ruthless People, he had a big part in Ruthless People. So, I always liked Bill Pullman as an actor. Loved him in Casper as well. But Bill Pullman plays a guy who's an anthropologist, and there's this whole thing, this powder where it can bring people back from the dead, and he's sent to Haiti to go see if he can find this powder and things like that. And I tell you, and that's pretty much what the idea of the film is about. Now, I mean, there's a lot of really good shots in this film, a lot of really creepy scenes. I mean, there's literally, the opening is where you see this guy being buried alive, and you see a tear coming down his eye because he knows he can't do nothing about it. He's being buried alive, and he's looking above, and he sees his family members looking down at him, being buried alive. And then you're introduced to Bill Pullman as an anthropologist who meets this guy, played by Zach Mokai, who went on to be in Waterworld and a lot of other stuff, things like that. And you have a really creepy scene in the beginning where Bill Pullman gets dragged under the ground, he gets dragged underground, and then he snaps out of his hallucination and wakes up, and he meets up with these people. One of the people that he meets up with in the beginning of the movie is Michael Gough. I'm not sure if that's how you say his name, but the late great Michael Gough, may he rest in peace. Alfred from the Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher Batman films has a supporting role in this, and he's the one that's telling Bill Pullman, about this powder-like thing that can bring people back from the dead, and they send him to Haiti to see if he can find this powder. I mean, and then when you hear about the behind-the-scenes about when they were filming in Haiti and how bad it was in Haiti, I mean, there's a lot of really crazy stories that happen behind the scenes that I'll get into right now. I mean, there was, when they were shooting in Haiti, I mean, Wes Craven even talked about how, there was a lot of disease over in Haiti, if I believe so. Well, not disease, more like bombings over there. Well, people did get sick on set, so I guess there was disease over there. And there was a lot of bombings going on. People were throwing stones at them, and it eventually got so bad over in Haiti they had to finish the rest of the film, I think, in the Dominican Republic, because it was so bad over in Haiti. And even when they were filming in Haiti, I mean, there was literally scenes where, I mean, you hear behind the scenes, or there was one where Bill Pullman talks about on the commentary, which I'll get to the features at the very end, why this is disappointing. But Bill Pullman mentions about like how he saw like a green cow with a cow with green TV light eyes or something like that. Really crazy stuff. And there was another story about how one of the writers, I think it was Richard Maxwell was one of the screenwriters, where him and this guy went to go visit this magician over in Haiti, and he went crazy. The screenwriter went crazy for like 4 or 5 days straight. He was angry and all that stuff, and his like hallucination. They sent him home, and when he snapped out of it, he couldn't remember a thing of what happened over the last 4 or 5 days. The last thing he remembered was seeing that magician, and then after that, he blacked out and couldn't remember a thing after that until he realized he was sent home. So you do really get a lot of there's a lot of crazy stories that happen within this film, and there's a lot of really creepy images. I would truly say this is one of those films that really did creep me out a lot, and it still really does creep me out too. Especially this one part where Bill Pullman is in one of another of like the hallucinations, and you see like this guy with this person in a wedding dress, and then they take the veil off, and it's like this dead corpse going towards Bill Pullman, and then she unveils the veil off the wedding dress, and then the mouth, it opens its mouth, and a snake pops right out of its mouth right in Bill Pullman's face, and Bill Pullman snaps out of his hallucination, and that's when he realizes he's in bed with a dead woman. So you get a lot of creepy images, and there's another really creepy shot, which is actually this scene on the bottom, where you see that same corpse lady who was in the wedding dress coming at in one of other Bill Pullman's nightmares, I guess, like hallucinations, where like he's like looking through the door, and like it shifts, like the scene shifts, and he's like, it shifts to a point where he's like in a coffin, and the blood's rising up because he's being buried and things like that, and he snaps out of it, and you see like this image of this woman on this boat caught on fire. And I'll tell you what, the scene that always gets to me, and I'm sure if you're a guy out there, you probably cringe at this scene just as much as I did, where there's a point where, because Zach Gizmokai is the villain of the film, and him and a bunch of other people take Bill Pullman, they strip him naked, and they strap him down on this table, and Bill Pullman's like, okay, well, what do you want? And then Zach Gizmokai goes, I want to hear you scream. And then Bill Pullman's like, I can scream like, ah, like, how's that? And Zach Gizmokai goes, not good enough. And then he takes like a hammer and this like really sharp looking, like, I guess like a stake or something like that, where you stab someone, kind of like a vampire like thing, but it's like a sharp metal silver looking stake thing, and then pounds the stake right into his junk. Like, takes the hammer with the stake and just jams it right into his junk. And I tell you, once that scene happened, I felt pains down below after that. I mean, you don't see it though, but you get the idea, and then you see Bill Pullman's reaction, and I tell you, it's a really uncomfortable experience. And this is the scene that always gives me goosebumps and things like that. Actually, I'll tell you what, that'd be actually a really pretty good, like, list video, because my good friend Julie came up with a lot of really good list ideas of like death scenes and things like that. I might make a top 10 of like scenes in films that make you cringe and just make you go oof and gives you goosebumps. I might make a list about like that. So thanks to Julie, I came up with another idea for a list. But anyway, back to the film. But yeah, I mean, and I love the way that Wes Craven directed this. I love the locations in Haiti. Really creepy stuff. I mean, just the way that what the crew had to go through. A lot of people got sick on the set because I guess there was a lot of disease over in Haiti around the time, and it was just so bad over there. They had to finish the rest of it in the Dominican Republic and things like that. But it's one of those films that I don't want to say too much more about. I mean, I kind of told you guys pretty much the key scenes that really do stand out in the film, but there are other ones too that are really creepy that I'm not going to say. But but if you want a creepy film, I would highly recommend you check out The Serpent and the Rainbow. And if you're a big Wes Craven fan, if you haven't seen this one yet, this is definitely one you have to check out. It's one of his best ones. It's my personal favorite of his, actually. It's my number one. I mean, I love Wes Craven as a director. I love The People Under the Stairs, Nightmare on Elm Street, the Scream movies. I think Deadly Blessing is underrated, and things like that. And I miss Wes Craven a lot. And the one good thing on this Blu-ray is that before the film starts, there's like a little memoriam for Wes Craven. Like before the movie starts, it says "In tribute of Wes Craven," where they show a picture of Wes Craven and the day he was born till the day he passed away, and it's like a little tribute. That was a nice little thing to add before the movie starts, so that was nice. But when I say the features, I mean these features suck. I mean, this is the Scream Factory Blu-ray. I'm glad I'm glad to have this, because I just had this on a cheap DVD and I wanted it on Blu-ray, and I found it for pretty cheap. But these features stink. I mean, you have a new audio commentary with Bill Pullman, and I say that because Bill Pullman's only on the commentary because this is like a 98-minute movie with credits. At about the 50-minute mark, Bill Pullman leaves the commentary because he has to shoot Independence Day Resurgence the next day in New Mexico or something. And then there's no one on the commentary. It's like, I mean, Bill Pullman got to talk for a little bit. It was cool to hear his thoughts on the film, which was cool. Bill Pullman seems like a really nice guy in real life, so that's pretty cool. And he was giving some nice little nuggets of information, saying a lot of nice things about Wes Craven, things like that. But so that was cool. But the commentary is really not much, and it's pretty disappointing. I don't blame Bill Pullman for that. I mean, I just think it was just bad timing and things like that. I mean, they could have just contacted him like a week before he had to go to New Mexico and shoot Independence Day 2. I mean, like I said, I don't really blame Bill Pullman. I think they should have given him more time, or they should have like planned something in advance. So the commentary is pretty. I mean, it's a pretty decent commentary for the first 50 minutes, but it's not really a great commentary because of what the last 40 minutes is all dead air and no one on the commentary, not even the moderator. And it says there's the new making of The Serpent and the Rainbow, featuring new interviews with Bill Pullman, the author Wade Davis, the director of photography, and the special effects artists. Really, Bill Pullman's not really on camera being interviewed. It's just stuff they took from the commentary, and you just hear his voice from the commentary in pieces over video footage. So, I mean, then you get a trailer and a still gallery and one TV spot. I mean, this is just... I think this is really a film that deserves more features, and I think this would have been an excellent idea to do a 50-minute documentary on the making of the movie, just to hear all the stories about what happened in Haiti and how rough it was to shoot over there, and I think that would be a really, really interesting documentary to do. So, but the film still looks really good on Blu-ray, and I just had to say some stuff about the features and all that stuff, but it's a pretty good Blu-ray, for the first few minutes of the commentary and things like that. It was really cool to see it in HD and things like that, but I've said enough. So that's pretty much it for my review for The Serpent and the Rainbow. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.